If you are experiencing foundation issues, get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
Cindy Pennington, Talladega County Revenue Commissioner, our guest this morning. Cindy, good morning to you.
Good morning.
First of all, we want to welcome you to the show, and Cindy's been on several times with us. We always look forward to her being here and sharing pertinent information. And boy, information we need now because Monday the doors open up.
We do. We open up Monday.
Talk a little bit about what's going to be happening.
Okay. Well, after about 2 months, we'll be open back up to the public, all county buildings, and as far as the courthouse on the square and the Sylacauga County building, and then our Oxford-Munford office on 21 will be opening up. And to the public, we'll be open at 8:30 Monday morning. And of course, it's going to be a little different. You know, our whole world has changed.
Yeah.
So if we do expect long lines. We will be checking temperatures before we let you into the building.
I was going to ask you, what's the protocol for coming into the buildings?
Yeah. We ask if you know you're sick, if you think you have a fever, please don't come. Please don't come in. But we're going to have a guard or someone at the door checking temperature and seeing where you need to go in the building, particularly at the courthouse on the square. And only so many folks can be in the building at one time. It just kind of depends on where you need to go. And so our tag office, we expect that, of course, to be the busiest one. People have been needing to get car tags and to get titles transferred into their name and business license and so on and so forth since March. Now, let me go ahead and say, car tags, renewals, or even new tags, if you've bought a new vehicle, and titles for March, April, and May, all have an extension until June the 19th.
So you don't have to be in a hurry.
You do not have to be in a hurry. You don't have to run in the door. We certainly will welcome you and be glad to welcome the public back to its revenue office, our citizens back to their revenue office. But we do say you don't have to be in a huge hurry. Patience is appreciated. And we in Talladega have been able to actually arrange a walk-up office, if you will, to wait on some of our customers, our taxpayers. We ask that only be for renewals and that anyone needing a title would come into the building, come into the office. And then our Sylacauga office already had a drive-through. It was not working properly, as I understand, had not worked in several years, but we've got that taken care of, we think. And there again, we ask that only renewals go through that drive-through line. If you have a title issue or a problem, please come into the building because that takes a little longer, a little more involved in doing that paperwork.
What about Childersburg?
Childersburg is not going to open right now. That is a temporary thing. We will be opening that back up probably within a few weeks once the city opens back up down there and gets going. The building there and our office there, it was just not conducive to the measures that need to be taken right now to protect employees and citizens. So
we are 2 months into the pandemic situation, and people have waited. They've been basically patient.
They have.
But coming up on Monday, we want to remind people that don't let your patience wear thin.
Right.
Because you've got time. You've got these extensions, and let's get this done together. And, tempers are short and stuff like that, but let's work together and get this done. The Sylacauga office, we've got a lot of people in South Talladega County that watch this show as well. Talk about more of the Sylacauga office and what is expected and how many people are you going to have in there working and helping people? Okay.
We'll have one full-time at the drive-through. We will have 2 at the counter at all times. Because of the 6-foot social distancing requirement between not only the public but between clerks, we can only have 2 at the counter at one time. more than likely. And then we'll have one back there in the office answering the telephone. And so that is kind of how we plan for that. You know, there's a deputy on the door there in the Sylacauga building all the time anyway, because there's a judge in the building. So that guard was already in place. So before you come in, your temperature will be checked, and you know, kind of find out where you're going, what you need, you know, kind of direct you where you're supposed to go in the building for whatever business you need. So I props to the county commission, to our maintenance staff with the county. They have put in a lot of time, our maintenance staff has, getting this all ready. You know, they put in plexiglass between, some people call them sneeze guards, in between the public and the clerks. So that's to protect both, you know. We want our employees protected as much as we can, and we want to protect the public as much as we can.
Now, a number of people have multiple needs that are coming in too.
They do. And property taxes, we're not quite done with the property tax season. So you can pay delinquent property taxes at Sylacauga and Talladega and Oxford. You can go online and pay those delinquent taxes. We have a lien sale. For the first time, it's not a tax sale, it is a lien sale coming up June the 2nd. That was committed to last fall. And once you commit to that, you kind of have to follow through with it. And I think it's going to be a good thing.
How's that going to work?
Instead of the property going to the highest bidder, and this is property that the taxes are delinquent and have not been paid for the 2019 tax year, it's going to go to the lowest bidder. You will bid down the interest. The bid will start at the amount of taxes due. And then the next bid will be, the bidding will start out at 12% interest and the taxes due. And then it will go to the lowest bidder. You will bid down the interest instead of bidding up. So it's kind of a unique thought. Ours this year is going to be online, and it will be kind of like an eBay auction. It will run like that. And we have a company that does this all over our state and in some other states, and they're called govease.com. You can go to their website, www.govease.com, and get information about the lien sale and about registering for it and so forth.
With the coronavirus pandemic and a lot of things have just basically shut down.
Yes.
And the Revenue Commissioner's Office, Commissioner's Office itself, you know, a lot of money runs through there.
Oh, yes.
And have we been able to do this and keep afloat during this time?
Well, good question. We have kept a skeleton staff there in the main office in Talladega, our accountant, and then just a couple of folks over on the license side, and a couple of folks in property every day working and taking some phone calls and taking online payments and processing those, and taking the mail-in tag payments and property tax payments, and then getting those in the bank and paying the bills, getting that money distributed. And in fact, as of just recently, the Revenue Office the Talladega County Revenue Office is caught up now with all of our remittances to our agencies, to our schools.
That's great.
And yes.
Wow.
Yes. So we are caught up.
Fantastic.
Yes.
It's my understanding too that the driver's license test they haven't started back doing that yet, right?
Right. They have not. The state right now is telling us they don't know for sure when they will start back doing actual driver's test. You know, the written test They may start that back in our county next week, but I'm not guaranteed that yet. There's been no final word on that even. But the driver's tests, because of the close proximity that you have, that the driver has, the 16-year-old usually, and the license examiner. You're sitting 2 folks front seat in a car, in a vehicle, and so it's hard to social distance there. So I don't have the answers for that as far as how they're going to handle that. That's up to the state folks at ALEA, but they've just, as recently as yesterday, told us they don't know for sure what they're going to do yet.
With the offices opening Monday in Sylacauga and in Talladega, the drive-through here in Sylacauga as well, people who would like to do their stuff online, they can still do that, right?
Oh, yes, they can do that online. You can renew a driver's license online as long as you don't have an address change. And then you can pay property tax online. You can also renew a car tag online. So, and a good many folks have been doing that, and that's wonderful. And we're thankful we are able to provide that for our citizens. But sometimes you do have a question, you do have issues, and things get a little more complicated, and you do need to talk with someone on the phone or come in. So,
well, we certainly want to remind people this morning that we're not going to come get you and lock you up and put you in jail.
No.
This is something that's been going on, is unprecedented. And the big thing here, Cindy, and I know you'll echo this, is the safety of everyone here.
Definitely. And and understandably, people have been concerned about their tag expiring, but law enforcement, we're told, is very lenient during these times with that kind of thing. Now, if you run a stop sign or a red light or something like that, you might get pulled over or speeding, what have you. But as far as just having an expired tag right now, it's my understanding that law enforcement, that's just not really big on their radar, if you will.
Yeah, and with COVID-19, people are going to be moving about more, and they already have started doing this. But the safety, the health of all of us, it trumps everything else.
It does. That everything else kind of takes a back burner there.
Yeah. So Cindy Pennington, Talladega County Revenue Commissioner, with us this morning, and never in a million years would she have dreamed that just stepping into office, and that's one thing, but to face a pandemic like this, and everything is upside down and topsy-turvy.
Yes.
And but you got a lot of good people working with you.
I do.
And you guys are staying the course, and want to refresh people on what's going to be happening this next week. And you don't have to get in any hurry. Everything's going to be all right, but the doors will open up on Monday.
They will. Open up at 8:30.
Now, if people have questions before Monday, can they call and stuff? And
oh, sure, always. Property tax questions is 256-761-2123. And any questions about licensing or business license, car tags, that kind of thing, 256-362-1460.
Coming in to the offices on Monday, mandatory masks, gloves, anything like that?
Another good question. Yes, you will have to have a mask on to get into the building. We ask that you wear your own, but if you can or if you forget, we will have some at the doors. So there will be mask provided, and
it's required that you wear that mask. Am I correct?
Yes, it's required. You cannot get into our offices without a mask on. And we are going to have pens there, and if you have to use one of our pens, we're actually just going to let you leave with that pen. So we've tried to think of that so that the next customer won't be using that same writing pen. Like I say, our County Commission and their staff.
Try to think of everything.
They have.
You got plenty of hand sanitizer?
We do. We have plenty of hand sanitizer. I mean, that's the new norm of the day.
Yeah.
You know, you see that wherever you go now.
Couple of quick notes before we go. What are we asking people to remember as they get set to come in and get their tags renewed or whatever they're going to do as far as county business is concerned? What are a couple of things they need to certainly remember as they come in?
Remember to have patience, please, with the staff, and also to practice social distancing. There was actually a picture online about a week ago of when Calhoun County opened up. And I'm sure that they were socially distanced on the inside, the public was, but when they were outside, it looked like the people were just standing shoulder to shoulder. And please remember when you're in line, even if you're outside the building, to try to remember that social distancing for your safety.
Any other thing you want to mention before we go?
I will give out the county's website. It has all the information I just went over, www.TalladegaCountyAL.org.
And here in Sylacauga, there is a drive-through that we can use too.
Yes.
But you're going to have to practice patience on that as well.
Yes. But practice patience on that. And that is only for car tag renewals. It is not for titles. If you have a title, we do ask that you come in.
All right, Cindy, always a pleasure. Thank you for coming this morning.
Thank you for
I know
having
it's a busy time of the season for you and your staff, and we pray for you guys, that is for sure.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Cindy Pennington, Talladega County Revenue Commissioner, our guest this morning. Daybreak continues right after this.